Okay, and on this one, it's basically the fine tuning piece of it, where um, it basically imported our packages that we needed, the Nixel and the stats forecast and the pandas for our read, uh, followed by the client with the API key again, read some of the data, and then here the fine tuning steps was defined as 10. Basically, it's going to do 10 iterations of fine tuning, and then these are plotted, or these are the plotted results where you have your column of timestamp and the target value. Um, Testing the unique values, and I actually went through and generated a little bit more, just playing around with the values of the target data and presenting some graphs. It wasn't really any change on that, but there were some in the categorical distributions a little different. Basically, just trying to learn and play around with some of the values here. And this was the Bitcoin price predictor, basically forecasting a time series of um, finance supporting decisions and trading and things like that. Um, this came with, I think this had the data source that was loaded. If I can recall, I'm trying to remember. But basically, it was importing. No, it wasn't. Here it is. The data source was what was taken online from the Bitcoin with the sample data for with the date and what it closed at, right? The closing value. And so these were renamed as DS and Y. Um, Here installing the packages that's going to be needed for that. And this is basically an effort of predicting what those values could be over time. API key versus rather was generated from Mixac. Then the visualizing the data. So before it was just basically a good practice to visualize the data that we want to predict, which is here. Then integrating it with Nixa forecasting, forecast the Nixa client. And I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's the forecasted over time. So we still have our DS values with future times, and then the I guess the estimate of what that Bitcoin value would be over a certain period of time. And that was the results of that, followed by the graphing of each one of those.